Hello everybody, welcome to Wrestling Roundup. I am GrimmChorizo, and this is the show where I give you this week's WWE news, rumors, and recap. So let's get started. This week on Raw, John Cena and Rusev had another confrontation, but this time John Cena got the better of Rusev and beat him down pretty viciously, throwing him into the LED board and just punching down on an unconscious Rusev. After weeks of build-up, it finally happened. Stardust turned on Goldust. Also on Raw, the Ascension were set for a match with Darren Young and a partner of his choosing while he was with some random dude, and the Ascension just was hammering down on Darren Young. But then, out to the rescue comes Titus O'Neil. The primetime players are back. So for the past few weeks, Dean Ambrose has been trying to get Bad News Barrett to give him a shot at the Intercontinental title. Well, this week on Raw, Ambrose finally got Barrett to sign the contract. Of course, he forced him to sign the contract. At the end of Monday Night Raw, Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns, who are opponents at Fastlane, brawled to end the show. On this week's episode of Main Event, the Lucha Dragons, Sin Cara and Kalisto, made their main roster debut. Obviously, Sin Cara has been on the main roster, but Kalisto now has made his debut and the Lucha Dragons as a tag team. I talked about it last week, but on this week's episode of NXT, Rhino made a surprise appearance, destroying Elias Samson. And also on this week's NXT, Solomon Crow made his highly anticipated debut by breaking up CJ Parker's protest. So this week, 4 new matches for Fastlane were announced. They are the Usos defending the WWE Tag Team titles against the Brass Ring Club, the Masters of the Universe, the Uppercats, whatever you want to call them. Seems WWE only wants to call them Tyson Kidd and Cesaro. As mentioned before, Bad News Barrett will defend the Intercontinental title against Dean Ambrose. Goldust versus Stardust. And a 6-man tag featuring Dolph Ziggler, Ryback, and Eric Rowan versus Seth Rollins, Kane, and The Big Show. This week, Samoa Joe, who has been with TNA for over 10 years, left the company. Earlier this week on Raw, Seth Rollins made a jab at Jon Stewart and The Daily Show, saying he could take over as host and actually make it watchable. Well, Jon Stewart fired back with a promo video of his own, basically calling out Seth Rollins and saying that he wants to fight him. So Seth Rollins made a response, inviting Jon Stewart to Fastlane or a Monday Night Raw. I personally would love to see Jon Stewart versus Seth Rollins. So back in November, CM Punk was on Colt Cabana's podcast doing, talking about everything from the WWE, why he left, and he talked a lot about one of the doctors, Chris Ammon, and basically said that he was not a good doctor. Punk had a staph infection and the doctor would do nothing to help him. Well, this week the WWE fired back and Chris Ammon sued CM Punk and Colt Cabana. There's been a lot of talk about Brock Lesnar because word is his contract will be up soon, and if he loses the title at WrestleMania, what's left for him to do? The rumors going around is that he may be going back to UFC. But this week, word is that Brock Lesnar will not be going back to UFC due to the fact that he went to a doctor and they said that he could easily get concussed in UFC. So he's considering staying with the WWE after WrestleMania. So thanks for watching this week's episode of Wrestling Roundup. Be sure to check out my ringside predictions for WWE Fastlane. And yeah, I'll see you next week for the 50th episode. See you guys later.